Yeah, let's go. So we're back with what is it now? Game 4?
Game
Game
four
4.
between second wind and wild card.
Yeah, wild card and second win. This time it's gonna be me, WhtPwdr, against Chacruna from wild card.
Yes. So far we have had 3 matches and the overall score currently is 2-1 for Team Wildcard. So this could be the deciding match if Chacruna wins it for Wildcard, or we'll see if second wind manages to take it back.
Yeah, so we're gonna see me play my Shaman deck, which we've seen in all games so far from second win side.
Yes, so far it
Against,
has done some pretty good performances.
yeah, it's pretty strong. And we see again the exact same freeze mage that we saw in the last game from you, grade 4.
Indeed. Chacruna is the creator though. He made the deck, so it's very interesting to see him play. I managed to beat your Shaman list
Yeah.
with it. Let's see if Chacruna also beats it, or if you can manage to take the game.
I mean, I guess you said it should be favored for the freeze mage, just simply because Shaman is all about the board control, and it's like, well, what you want to do mostly is like just get the board control, attack, basically. I mean, it's not like a burst deck.
Indeed. Well, it does have burst, obviously, with the Leroy Windfury Rockbiter, but you also want to hit face with your minions to, set up that lethal.
Yeah.
And Freeze Mage is good at stopping that. But it's definitely winnable. It's favored for Freeze Mage in my opinion, but it's more like 60-40. So as Shaman, you still have a good chance to win. And in my game, which I won against Shaman, I did have like perfect draw. So
Yeah.
gotta admit that.
Yeah. Now we see he doesn't have like at least he doesn't have all of the draw cards. He has the arcane intellect.
This is probably like an average hand, one Blood Mage and then an Arcane Intellect,
Yeah.
like a turn 2 and turn 3 play. Um, Your hand is also quite good as Shaman, Unbound is a nice card to see always.
I was pretty unhappy to see the Searing Totem there, but
Well,
I
it
was expecting him
also
to
has a
ping it off.
benefit since it
Hmm.
can, kill start damaging, the mirror images.
Yeah,
And
true.
against the Freeze Mage, it's actually quite decent because it runs a lot of 1 HP minions like Loot Hoarder and Novice and the Blood Mage.
Yeah.
Um, and you don't really want to spend your mana pinging a 1/1 as Freeze Mage, since in this early game you want to, just play out your card draw cards. So he's most
Here,
likely going to Arcane Intellect right now. If he doesn't, I will be very surprised.
yeah, he should Arcane Intellect. We see that I
Doomsayer
played.
is actually also a decent play to clear the Unbound Elemental and slows down your tempo. Because like later on in the game, Doomsayer just eats a Earth Shock or a Hex, since you have no targets really for those cards.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can Earth Shock stuff like Loot Hoarders, but for Hexes you don't really have a target, so later on you will just Hex the Doomsayer. But I think the correct play is the Arcane Intellect, but it's worth considering to play the Doomsayer.
We saw I played a Unbound Elemental last turn. Here we see the axe come out. Pretty good turn.
Yeah, X Totem is a solid turn. It clears the board. Another play could have been Mana Tide. It's less mana efficient, but now it gets the card draw going, and it's not really something that Freeze Mage has a good answer
Yeah.
for. So you would like Frostbolt that, but that's not really a possibility for. It's like that's not really something you want to do as Freeze Mage.
Here we see Chacruna drop the
The Doomsayer to soak some damage, which
yeah.
you are going to clear very efficiently with the Flame Tongue Totem buffing up your two creatures.
I even
Besides
think
that,
I lightning bolt here.
well, I don't like that play. I would have done the hero power to get under totem and just, kill him with your two minions and axe the loot hoarder like you did.
Yeah,
It's
looking at
lightning
it this
bolting.
way,
All it
it's
does is your lightning bolt turns into a deal 2 damage to face with the totem. So instead of doing 2 damage to the face, you could have, done your hero power and keep the lightning bolt in hand, which I think is better.
yep, I
Um,
agree.
I guess we are going to see a Doomsday or Frost Nova here to try and clear the board. If you don't have anything to stop it, it would be really good. I mean, right now you could possibly Leroy it, I guess. I think that's the play Chacruna should go for since he has no other real good play. And like your last turn seemed kinda clunky with the lightning bolt and stuff, so he might think you have no answer for the Doomsayer. At least that would be my assumption based on the last turn.
And he goes with the cone of cold.
I don't like the play. Like with Cone of Cold, I would have at least coined out the Doomsayer, but that's not very good. So I would have done the Frost Nova Doomsayer.
It kind of gives me another turn to like get enough draws to deal with the Doomsayer.
Although, like, I understand this point of view on it. Like, he did it because he expected you to already have a Hex or Earth Shock, in which case his play is better. You didn't have it in your hand though, so.
Yeah, we're probably just gonna see in Fire Elemental. There's nothing else you could do. You could Totem and Mana Tide Totem, but that doesn't really do anything. I mean,
No,
what you're trying to do now is just do as much damage as you can. My hand is pretty strong. It has a lot
you
of
do have a
damage.
lot of damage. Although if I would be Chacruna, I would feel like pretty confident considering he has an ice block. And if he ice blocks now and just freezes your board, there's no way you will be able to proc the ice block, and then next turn he can simply coin out the Alexstrasza on you. And then he will be very close to lethal with the Fireball and double Ice Lance in hand. Like, literally, all he would need is to top deck a Frostbolt, and
Hmm.
he would win the game. And he will have at least 2 draws for that, because, next turn and turn off the Alexstrassas. So with 2 Frostbolt left in deck, it's looking quite good for him, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, freeze Doom. I mean, you could even coin Doomsayer here. You don't really need to though. I guess you shouldn't.
No, that's bad
Yeah,
because then you cannot
because
coin Alex Strasser next turn. So
yeah,
that's why I don't like that play.
yeah, I agree. Now I drew my Wind Fury, which was pretty important here.
It's definitely a good draw. It allows you to do a lot of pressure. Gonna see the Ardent Commander. Are you gonna win Fury now? No. Okay. I guess it's better to save it to win Fury the Leroy next turn or something.
Yeah, I mean, if he Alex draws us here, I'm gonna prop the.
Yeah, indeed. So like you can,
The thing
you
is,
obviously will proc it.
he has no other play though, because he has no
He
freezes
has no
anymore.
freeze mechanic, so he just has to go for it. Like, he has to hope for the top deck Frostbolt. Like, if he top deck Frostbolt or an Ice Block or like card draw and then gets like an Ice Block from that, he is in it. So he has definitely a couple of top decks. Like, there's still a lot of draw power, like Double Novice and an Arcane Intellect, Goldlight Oracle left, which he can use to draw the Ice Block, the second one.
Here I just had to
So like
figure
we
out what the best way to pop the ice block and kill Alex Strasser was. Because obviously I can do it. But I just needed to figure out what the best way was.
yeah. Yeah, this is just some mad skills. Like honestly, it doesn't really matter how you do it. Like as long as you just proc the ice block and kill the
Yeah, I mean, you obviously
Strasza.
want to get the ice block down as slow as possible. I wanted to get it to 3, so I
But you
could
don't
kill
want
it
to
with
play
my
Leroy yet, since you don't want to give him totem. So it's
no.
good that you did not do that.
Yeah, I got him to 1 and killed off the other Straza with the Wind Fury.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best way to have done it. Like, it also saves the bubble on the Argent, which I don't know if it's good, but
Doesn't
um, it doesn't really
my
matter. Like, you have the direct damage in your hand to finish the game, so that's all it's about.
yeah, but I needed to get him below 3 though. Because with taunts, he could taunt up, and I wouldn't be able.
Yeah.
And
That's the only
freeze.
reason why I would have considered maybe not using the lava burst, if that was possible. I didn't calculate everything, because then you could have lava bursted when he plays like mirror image. Because right now with mirror image, and if you had like a freeze also in his hand, um, with your current hand, well, I guess you have fire elemental, so you
Yeah,
could finish it that way. Yeah,
yeah,
never
that's why I
mind.
wanted to get him below 3.
Yeah, indeed. I
And
did.
he doesn't draw what he needs, so that is a game
Yeah, he
changer.
either needed guard draw to get into ice block, or draw ice block, or draw, the
Frostbolt, he would have won.
yeah. Yeah, right now he's 4 damage short with like double ice lance and ping to face. It would have been 5 to face,
Yeah.
which is 4 short because the first ice lance would not have the frozen effect. Um,
See here, you see
he
that if
was
I
relying on the top deck, but it's kind of unfortunate that he didn't get any like the past 2 turns. Like, um, that he drew the Sorcerer's Apprentice and like the something else crappy.
I don't know if I should have done it this way, but if he didn't know I was running Leroy, he knows now. Well, he saw the
Yeah,
Wind
I think
Fury. He saw the
it's
Wind Fury, so you don't run Wind Fury without
yeah. He
Leroy.
saw the Wind Fury, so he knew you played Leroy pretty much. So it doesn't matter. But if you did not see the Wind Fury, wouldn't it be correct to play the Fire Elemental just to keep your opponent in the dark about your exact deck list, which is a very small touch, and most people mess that up in tournaments
Yep.
because on ladder you don't have to think about it. It's just like in a best of 5 format like this, when you have to play the same deck after you win, that it could actually help out. Especially if you play like interesting deck cards. Let's say you have a Black Knight in your deck, you if you don't have to play the Black Knight, don't do it
Yeah.
because your opponent then, if he sees it, he will play around it for sure. So um, this time it was fine though, since he saw the Wind Fury.
So we're gonna see a miracle from Chacruna to try to counter out the Shaman deck.
Yeah, Miracle Rogue is an interesting choice. It isn't exactly a hard counter or
No,
anything to Shaman. Um,
it's probably like 60-40 again for the miracle. It kind of depends on the draws.
yeah, I would say it's slightly favored for Miracle indeed, but it's definitely winnable for the Shaman. Um, the main counter to Shaman used to be Hunter, but because of the Unleash the Hounds nerf, it simply isn't a very popular choice anymore. So right now there aren't that many good counters, I guess, to Shaman. So
No.
this is an understandable choice, also because if you win the match with Miracle, it's just a very solid deck, since Miracle is also a deck that's hard to counter. So
Yeah, and Chacruna's miracle deck is a bit different than most. It runs one Doomsayer.
yeah, the most popular build right now involves like the Earthen Rings and Astro Drakes. He
Yeah.
does run an Astro Drake, as you saw, but he does not run those Earthen Rings, and instead he runs a Loot Hoarder, which is also very common, and a Doomsayer.
Yep.
And double conceal, which some players do, but most people don't because a lot of people consider it a bit, it can be a dead card.
Yep.
So basically, Chacruna's deck is a lot more combo reliant. It relies more on the gadgets and conceal combo than the other decks. I mean, the Earthen Ring Farseers bring more consistency to the deck, to
Yep.
make it useful without the combo. But if Chacruna gets the combo, his deck is stronger simply because it has more spells.
Yep. I mean, I personally favor the more consistent deck right now, but I was playing something similar to his not so many days ago. Again, pretty unhappy to get the Searing Totem. You always just want to totem. You want the totems against Miracle Rogue, and just to get some pressure on them.
Yeah, in this case, like last game, I think the Searing Totem was actually fine. I mean, it traded with the Blood Mage, so I don't think it was bad deck at one. But here, definitely, you rather have a 0/2 totem. That would have meant that he would have hit the totem with his dagger instead of your face. So
Yeah.
basically, you would have had one more HP. Now we see Chacruna take care of the Unbound Elemental with Deadly Poison and Backstab, which was necessary because, if he did not do that, the Feral Spirits would have come out next turn, which you probably expected. And yeah, that would have been a buffed Unbound and a very strong board for you.
And that draw is pretty insane.
Yeah, we see the Blade Flurry top deck. It's a good top deck. It's not that great. I mean, like he could have hit one with the weapon and killed it, so it's basically only kills the other.
Yeah.
It kills the 2/3 and it saves him 2 life. So there was a good draw and correct to use it there. Um, your end is kind of slow. Like you have a lot of removal, which is kind of useless against Miracle because he doesn't play many creatures. Seems like Chacruna's thinking about playing the Conceal to protect his 4/4, which is a fair play, I guess, since that at least guarantees a minion to be alive, with which he can attack next turn. Maybe he's even considered shadow stepping it because he has no draw power in his hands and no gadgets, and so he might shadow step it, so he can play it again next turn for 3 mana to get another card draw. I personally would just end turn.
Yeah, me too. Me too for sure. I wouldn't play anything else. Against the Shaman though, I mean, he does conceal.
It's not bad. Like, I mean, Asher Drake survives Lightning Storm pretty much unless you get like a spell damage totem and a high roll. So I can understand concealing it. It guarantees its survival, so yeah, I don't think it's that great since like it's turn 6, so you probably want to like Fire Elemental, which is not enough to kill the Asher Drake anyway.
And we see the Auctioneer come.
Yeah,
Pretty.
so I think safety conceal would have turned out probably better with the Gadget Sun drawn. But you couldn't know that, obviously. Oh, and we see a second Gadget Sun. I think he's just gonna preparation to see what he draws.
Cold blood.
And,
Probably just gonna this.
I think that's fine. Like it's not the best eviscerate target, but I would eviscerate the 2/3. Like it's like you wasted damage, but it lets you, psycho.
Yep.
And you really want to get some card draws out of it. Like you could even like eviscerate the Taunt Totem if you want, so you can, hit face with the Asher Drake. But I would eviscerate the Argus and then go from there. Could even sap one of the minions.
He goes for eviscerating the Taunt Totem.
It turns out, yeah, because he did it because he wanted to, go for face with 8 with the Asher Drake. No, I think the eviscerate on the 2/3 would have been it would have turned out better since he drew the shift, and with the Asher Drake he could have shifted on Totem. So then he could have hit the face for 4 with the Asher Drake.
Yeah.
So he obviously can know that he would draw that. So it wasn't a bad play. And leaves actually a pretty strong board. I mean, 4 damage is really annoying to do for WhtPwdr. Like, we know he has a Fire Elemental, Lightning Bolt, and a WhtPwdr in hand, which is all like 3 damage.
I
So,
also have a Argent Commander in my hand.
oh yeah, true. And double Lightning Storm, like double Lightning Storm would clear the board, but it would overload you for 4, so it's probably not a good play. I expect the Argent Commander to come out and in combination with a Lightning Bolt or WhtPwdr to kill off both minions.
Yep.
It seems like a good play.
Yep. It's pretty easy decision, to be honest. I'm
Yet
not
you take
sure
very
what
long.
the rest. I'm taking a long time. Yep. I'm not sure if I should have used the WhtPwdr there, but I don't remember what I was thinking.
Well, there is a reason why you might have done it because, well, saving the WhtPwdr is better basically with the Wind Fury for more
Yeah.
burst, but you might have used it because the Lightning Bolt overloads you for 1. We can see your exact hand, so maybe you really want that 8 mana next turn instead of 7, so you could, make a better
Yeah.
play next turn. So there are definitely reasons for it. I expect to see, the Gadget Sand, Dagger Up, and Deadly Poison, so the Deadly Poison can, kill the Argent Commander. And then he most likely Shadow Steps the Gadget Sand, just to save it, because you want to keep it so the turn after you can cycle some more, since, his hand's running out of steam, so you really need to, replenish it. Because right now he isn't near lethal.
Yeah, he does shadow stuff.
Yeah, I think that was correct.
I'm not sure. I mean,
like if he didn't Shadow Step, like his next turn probably would have been terrible. Like he needs to still, cycle out of his deck to get his Leroy, and like he has a second Shadow Step in his deck, so by saving the Gadget Send, like he will just draw that one. So
he's pretty lucky though that my hand is pretty bad.
I think it was mainly your start being a bit slow, or at least like at the start you had to remove for the Feral Spirits and the Unbound. I mean,
Yeah.
like for 8 mana, like playing a Fire Element on Hero Power, like I wouldn't call that bad. Like that's kind of what you expect the Shaman to do at 8 mana.
Yeah, but I had nothing other than that to do. I think it's like 2 Lightning Storms, a Hex. It's
Just
not
gonna
very
see some
exciting.
shifts for like tons of card cycling.
Yeah, we still don't see the Leroy.
This Shadow Step he will most likely save because he probably wants to keep this one for the burst in the end.
Yeah.
Although actually he could use it. Since he already has an Eviscerate, Cold Blood, and a Dagger for 3 damage, so if he draws Leroy, he has enough for lethal, so he could use it just to simply cycle more. I think he will leave it out on the field, though.
Make me deal with it. I would, for sure. But I know what's gonna happen. So. Here we see the Azure Drake come out. Lightning Bolt's pretty. It was pretty good top deck. Azure Drake.
Yeah. Keeping a like it turns out better that you used the WhtPwdr early and had the Lightning Bolt for now since it does 4 damage, so that decision panned out well. Chacruna has like very little cards left in his deck, so I think we might see some crazy action with preparation fan of knives. I don't know exactly how many cards he has left in his deck, but it seems like
around 5.
yeah. Because if he preps fan of knives and get Leroy, I think he has lethal.
Leroy 10.
Yeah, then he has lethal with the Leroy, Eviscerate, Cold Blood, and the Dagger, and you know the SI7 to kill the Taunt Totem. So he could go for that. He has 4 cards. We saw him over, so it's 25% chance to get lethal right here.
Yep.
He is going for it. Gets the loot order.
Not what he wanted.
No. He's still in a good position though.
Yeah.
Because 20 health is like quite a lot. Like it's unlikely that you will be able to do 20 damage. It's possible, I believe, but not very likely. Although he does really need Chacruna does really need to draw the Leroy, but right now he has 3 cards left in deck, and with a loot hoarder on field and a card draw, he will draw 2 of his 3 cards. So if he does not get the, he is very unlucky. So
That
I
Taunt
think
Totem.
Chacruna will take the game.
That Taunt Totem was really strong though.
It was a good taunt totem, but even the taunt totem isn't good enough if he draws Leroy.
Yeah, it is.
No, you can eviscerate it and then Leroy
yeah,
Shadow Step.
yeah, my bad.
So it's
But Leroy is the
now
last card in his deck.
yeah. Now the play we're going to see, and this is actually basically has 100% won the game unless you have lethal. What he can do now is Doomsayer conceal, and there's literally not a single card that allows you as Shaman to kill the Doomsayer when it's concealed. So your board will be cleared, so every taunt will be gone, and then he draws Leroy next turn and has lethal with the Shadow Step.
Yeah.
So unless you kill him now, he wins the game, and so this was very good play from him for Chacruna to realize this.
Yeah, I was pretty mad when I saw this.
Yeah, like only out would be double Lightning Storm and then rolling high while you have spell damage, but you only have 1 Lightning Storm left. You use 1 last turn, so as we see, you don't have lethal, so it's guaranteed victory for Chacruna now.
Yeah.
Chacruna throwing out a well played already.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, you probably don't realize it yet. I mean, you
Well,
could know
I
it.
know he has.
Yeah, like you know, he
Leroy.
runs Leroy, and he's like, if you counted the cards, you know, he has a Shadow Stab left, so you pretty much know you're dead if you really think about it.
Yep.
That was definitely a close game, like going down to the bottom of the deck. First, now we actually see someone with 0 cards left in his deck so far in these matches, I believe. I don't think we've seen Fatigue yet. Wow. So that was definitely a nail-biting game, I guess. It goes to Chacruna. So it's 1-1 right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty mad, I must say, when I saw that come out because I knew I lost.
Yeah, it's although like you know like he had drawn his entire deck, so I think like
Yeah.
you know you saw it coming that you were gonna lose in the end. Like
I thought I was gonna lose a lot earlier, to be honest.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like he was kind of lucky that it literally was the last card. So
so I go with the warrior deck. It's a bit more aggro-ish because with Leroy, double cock run.
Yeah, the Leroy is an interesting card. You rarely see that in Warrior. I personally don't like the deck choice since I believe the Miracle Rogue is favored against Warrior.
Yeah.
So it's hard to counter Miracle Rogue, but I don't think Warrior's gonna do it. So my vote goes to Chacruna right here because your deck is a bit more aggressive with the Korkons and the Leroy, so that helps. But besides that, I mean, like the problem with Warriors, yes, you have a lot of life, but you don't have any taunts and you don't have like a good way to kill a get concealed gadget sand. Like all you can do is like pray for Brawl to work.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Looking back, I don't think I would have picked this deck again. But it was
it's
this
winnable, but
it was this or putting up a mirror match.
yeah, I think going for the mirror match in that case is, the better choice. But it's winnable as Warrior.
Here we see.
I would have mulliganed away the Whirlwind. I mean, it doesn't really do much. Like you saw him play one Blood Mage, one Loot Hoarder, but like besides that, Whirlwind. I guess you can Whirlwind, your own Acolyte and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think it's better to, toss it away and to draw a card instead of Whirlwinding your Acolyte to draw a card. Um, Chacruna should also just mulligan everything away, like Sap and Shadow Step aren't cards you want to see early, and there's no good backstep target in a warrior deck.
It's notable to know though that in the second game, the Shaman versus Miracle, my computer crashed, so we had to replay that game, and I was like 90% sure I would have won that game. So I was pretty on tilt after losing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I watched the video of the game that crashed, and
Hmm.
I actually think Chacruna was going to win. So
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see what happened. For when I crashed, from my perspective, it looked like I was gonna win for sure. But yeah,
we're gonna see the backstep SSF and take out the Armsmith. Very efficient way to deal with it.
yeah,
Um, Most likely gonna be killed by the Fiery War Axe.
yeah.
That's a good response to an FI7 agent. Kind of unfortunate that it's mana inefficient, but
I guess just the Shiv and
Shift Dagger up seems like the best play. Yes, I mean,
yeah, maybe play the Blood Mage now. Actually,
besides that, you don't really have anything to play.
probably he's gonna
Yeah,
play
I
the
would
Blood
play the
Mage.
Blood Mage. The good thing about it is like if you hit it, it might bait you out to use your Fiery Wargs on a 1/1,
Yeah,
which is fine for Chacruna. Like it saves him some health. Then
I have the perfect combo though for this.
yeah, Acolyte Whirlwind is definitely a very good response to it.
He draws
Um,
his second Gadget Sand, pretty good.
Yeah, he's gonna wait with dropping it though, since
Yeah,
if he would have played it that turn, it's obviously gonna die to your Warwick and your Acolyte, so it's good to save it.
I
Um,
guess the same thing is gonna come out here.
yeah, again, the Acolyte Whirlwind. This was a very value Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Um,
It does put me pretty vulnerable because I don't have any ways to use my execute efficiently right
well, you
now.
still have Cruel Taskmasters in your deck, and honestly, there is very, very little you want to execute. I mean, especially you've seen his deck, like he doesn't run Admin Van Cleef or something, so you don't have to be afraid of something
Yeah.
crazy like that. Um, so you get to send Deadly Poison come out to cycle a little bit and just to put something on the board. You can easily get rid of it though with either the slam execute or
I think I go with Shield Slam here.
I would execute it personally since I
Yeah,
think like you could, for example, shield slam like a 3/3 SI7
yeah.
agent later on,
It
and
was
I think it's harder to execute something like that since then you also need to do one damage to it.
it was definitely a mistake to armor Shield Slam. Definitely should have executed. Especially
Yeah,
because when I know that I've
but it
used
could have
both
been worse. Like I
whirlwinds,
mean, if
yeah, but I don't have any ways to execute. Like, there's so little.
yeah, well, there's still a second slam and double cruel taskmaster. Although you want to say one for Grom, but it's a slight misplay, yes. We're just gonna see the Getsusen come out again with a single spell and then Shadow Stepping it back to hand like last game, simply to keep it alive since he wants to use that in his next turn, to cycle his
Yep.
entire deck again. Right now, he hasn't drawn that many cards.
Here comes a just putting some damage on him. I know that it's getting pretty close to the point where he can kill me with Leroy.
We're probably gonna see a Getsusen Blade Flurry right now. It's a very good Blade Flurry, so
Yep.
it's an easy play for him right there.
He's hoping to get a preparation.
Yeah, he eviscerates face, which is interesting instead of Fan of Knives. I think he does that because he has double conceal in his deck and he's hoping to draw one, so he would have enough mana to um,
Yeah.
conceal the Getsen. Although you could argue that he maybe should have played Fan of Knives since he also has two prep left in his deck, so then he could have drawn a prep and didn't like prep and then draw into a conceal. So
Mm-hmm.
it's debatable if eviscerate was correct or not, and now he has the option to shadow step. Like the problem with using your shadow step is that you miss out a lot of burst damage with your Leroy. It goes for the cold blood, and he gets the preparation.
And the
Um,
conceal. That's
wow,
pretty
that
sick.
definitely it was a very risky play. I
Yeah.
mean, he had two copies of both cards left in his deck.
Yeah, but it's pretty lucky to get it in that order though.
It was definitely
Here we
a
see biggest
risky play, and
misplay.
it paid off.
Biggest misplay EU right here.
Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, that was
Thinking that you
pretty.
can execute your own minions. I
I think we
mean,
should change. I think it's Artosis playing instead of WhtPwdr. I think we messed up the names.
and that's GG.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, that was definitely. I don't think there's any other good play you could have done.
It's probably
I mean,
just
your
Cruel
best play would have
Taskmaster.
been Cruel Taskmaster Brawl and pray
Yeah,
to RNGs that your Taskmaster would have lived,
yeah.
but
I mean, after
either way, it
seeing
was a pretty bad situation.
after seeing his cold blood into prep into conceal, I was on tilt again.
Yeah. Chacruna is just cycling his deck, I think, in search of the Leroy, because the Leroy would be lethal right now in combination with the Shadow Step.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, here he should just. I mean, he should
he
backstab,
actually, yeah, he actually has lethal if he backstabs
and there comes the Leroy.
50%. And that's game three going to Chacruna, so it's 2-1 now. Yeah, you need to win two games in a row now because otherwise the series will go to wild card because it's already 2-1. So if Chacruna wins now, the series overall will be 3-1. That means that wild card would have won then.
Yep.
So let's see if you can pull it back, winning two games in a row. Interesting to see what you're gonna pick now.
Yeah, it's gonna be the mirror match.
Okay, that's definitely an it's a fine choice. I mean, like it's also definitely possible to win two games in a row with Miracle, so it's
I
a
mean,
good deck to pick, I believe, if you need to win two games right now.
there's a lot of changes I would have made to this deck if I knew I was gonna play the mirror matchup. It's not like tailored to win against Miracle. Double sap is pretty bad against his deck. Not double cold
True,
blood.
but it's fine, I think, because you cannot tailor the deck too much for
Yeah,
the matchup because you also need to win the game after this one.
yeah,
So you might really need those steps in that matchup.
yeah,
So Um, since it's, for example, pretty likely that he would counter with something like Handlock, which is commonly used to counter Miracle.
yeah.
Um, so in that matchup, the steps are good. I'm not sure if the more combo-reliant version of Chacruna is favored in the mirror, or if the more consistent version is better. Um, like getting off like in the mirror match, the gadget and conceal combo is pretty important. I think generally the person that gets that combo off wins. So maybe Chagruna's version is favored, but obviously if the players don't get the combo, your deck is better. So we will see how that goes.
Yep. So we see the Chacruna gets the coin. Pretty important in this matchup. The coin is, I mean, the first person that can conceal an auctioneer pretty much wins.
Yeah, it's definitely good to do gadgets and coin conceal, or to maybe even like combo out your SI7. Like having a coin as rogue is definitely very sweet. Although in general, with like in like talking about all decks, I would say that going first is an advantage. I
Mm-hmm.
believe most players have a higher win percentage going first, so it's not too bad to be second, to be first, even like in this matchup. I think
I
it's
mean,
okay.
Chacruna's hand is very, very strong in a mirror matchup. Leroy and Auctioneer in his hand is is pretty
Yeah,
is
I
pretty
think the
good.
Astro Drake is right now might be a bit pointless since
Yeah,
if you're gonna go off with gadgets and on turn five, you will never like he has the conceal and coin, so you might just go like gadgets and coin conceal. Then you will never have enough mana to play Astro Drake since you would
no,
just keep playing spells. Um, Also, yeah, having Leroy is nice, but I still wouldn't want it in my opening hand.
I think keeping Leroy in a mirror matchup is definitely fine. I do it a lot of the time.
Okay, well maybe I need to practice my Miracle Rogue skills then, which it's not something I would do since it's a card I'm looking for. After I go off with my combo.
It's just like because you know exactly what he's playing, like you'd have basically exactly the same cards. You just go for face like all the time. Like in this matchup, eviscerating the face is pretty common. Like you attack, it's just you need the burst. The first person that can burst down wins. The Leroy is pretty important. Yeah, you see, my hand is pretty bad. Definitely favor Chacruna right here.
Yeah, your hand's kind of clogged. It's indeed not great. I'm pretty sure I would have done something different though. Like on turn 3, you didn't play him in. I think I would have played like the SI7 naked
Yeah,
on the board
I
to
should have.
just get
Agreed.
minion out.
Agreed.
Because yes, like Chacruna had a deadly poison, but that means like he would have had to hit it, so it's 3 less damage to your face and 3 more to his face. So um,
I mean, I definitely agree. I drew the Leroy, which I was pretty happy to get. I mean, it's one part of the combo. Would have liked an
yeah,
auctioneer though.
and Chacruna actually has a difficult option since you could go Gadgets and Koi and Conceal, which is very strong, but it's actually tempting to play Asher Drake and Backstab for 3 damage.
Nah, it's too strong to go conceal right here.
I think the Coin Conceal Gadget Sand is indeed correct because I mean, getting it out 1 turn earlier is very good.
Yeah. And he even draws the preparation
I
so
mean,
he
you
can
can
kill.
yeah, you can backstab prep Fan of Knives, so turns out very, very strong.
Yeah.
And even the second conceal right now is nice, so you can conceal it again next turn. So, looking at it right now, I would definitely say Chacruna is going to take it. I
Yep.
mean, if you top deck your own Gadget Sand, you have a chance if you can get also like Gadget Sand, prep, and get some stuff going. But basically, you're 1 turn behind already from that point, even if you draw it.
I'm gonna draw Fan of Knives. Not really what you want. Now I have double prep. Yeah, it's looking very bad for me.
Yeah, I think right now the game is over pretty much. I don't see a way of coming back really.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good draw as well. I would have this right here for sure. I might even Drake Eviscerate Conceal. I think that is what he's thinking about.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, makes the fish rate do 1 more damage, develops another threat on the board. Oh, he's going for the double SA7 agent.
Nah, just one. There's no point in playing double. I don't really like this as much. Because if I had a deadly poison, all of them would, like, both of these would die.
Yeah, I agree. I think I also like
Like, this play doesn't make
the
sense to
Asher
me.
Drake Eviscerate more.
This play makes no sense to me.
I mean, I guess it's unloads his head. Like it puts more power on the board. Like, um, so in terms of power, it's stronger. So it makes some sense. But if you have Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry, you would have a way to come back. You don't have it though, so
I
that's very
do. I need
unfortunate.
to use both my preps though.
Oh yeah, I see. Now you do. So yeah, I agree with that play being suboptimal because it simply dies to Blade Flurry, so the concealed Asher Drake would have been stronger.
Yeah. But he's so close to lethal right here. It's pretty insane.
I think he's probably gonna like get you center Asher Drake and eviscerate your Asher Drake to keep the board clear and the developer threat on the board.
Yeah. And now he has
Oh,
lethal
you
next
played
turn.
flurries. Like,
Yeah, he has lethal next turn now.
yeah, with even if you clear the Asher Drake with the Leroy Shadow Step.
Yeah.
Oh, eviscerate. No,
Or,
then he's not
no, he's
sure. That's
one mana
60.
short.
Yeah, he's a little bit short. He can do 16, so he's like 1 damage short or 2 mana.
Yeah. Does he have a prep left? No.
No, he used both, so
He can't win this turn. That doesn't help him, does it?
no, he's 1 mana short.
Yeah, it doesn't
He,
help.
if he has 1 more mana, he could do it.
I guess he
1 mana.
just clears the board with Auctioneer.
Yeah, like can you
But
play the Auctioneer? Then you don't have enough mana for Shift and Eviscerate. So I think you actually just backstab, shift the SI7, Eviscerate the Asher Drake, and hit face with the dagger. Like dagger up, deadly poison, hit face.
I was pretty mad at
So
myself though. This is actually like this is pretty obvious for him. I mean, the thing is, you see my hand. It's I have Leroy Eviscerate, and I knew when I was sitting there thinking like I knew I'm gonna lose this game if I don't draw Shadow Step. Even with
yeah.
Shadow Step, it's 1 damage off. I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, okay, I have to do 1 damage, and then I drew Azure Drake last turn, and I didn't weapon up and do the damage. And you can't see it here, but I drew Shadow Step. But it's
Well,
one
once
mana.
again,
It's
could
one
you?
mana short. It's 1 mana short from lethal. If I would
Yeah,
have,
the 1 mana short. So, like you,
because I
yeah, but
was
you can't say that you would have played that different because of playing the Asher Drake, you were able to draw the
no,
shadow stuff. Like
no,
if you,
no. The thing is that I could have cleared the board last turn and weaponed up because I was sitting there thinking that was what I was gonna play, and then I drew Azure Drake. I mean, I top decked Azure Drake, and I was like, okay, I'll play Azure Drake.
yeah, but if you didn't play Asher Drake, you wouldn't have drawn the shadow step because Asher Drake gives one draw.
That's
So
true.
even if you daggered up and hit face,
Ah,
you wouldn't
okay,
have
yeah,
had
yeah,
to.
that makes sense. I understand. Yeah,
So Chacruna takes the series 3-1, and now the overall score is also 3-1 for Team Wildcard. So
yeah.
victory for us! Yay!
In this super duper important show
Yeah, my
match.
life is.
Hello. I guess Skype lagged out or something. Yeah. Well, that's it for me and Greed for this match. There is one more match in this show match.
Yeah,
Yeah, you lagged out there.
yeah, I'm lagged. Sorry, my internet. OP.
Yeah, like I was
Oh,
saying, this is there's one more game left between Airbrushed and Levo, I think. I don't know how the video is, but hopefully we can get it up as well.
yeah, there are some technical difficulties I heard with the last game between them. So I don't know if we will be able to upload it. Um,
Yeah, we'll see. I guess this is it for us though.
yeah, this is it for now. Stay tuned and keep watching our videos. In the future, there will probably be more videos on this channel about some awesome Hearthstone games. Um,
Yep,
and thanks for watching, everybody. This is Grade 4 and WhtPwdr from the teams.
yep. Thanks for watching.